it is.
Well, there it is. This is a 1 versus 1 that I'll be casting today for you guys, and it's between nicker59, who is playing as the blue night elf on the right hand side. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, we have owen0920, and he is the red human on the left hand side. That's right. And the map is, of course, Echo Isles, so a very tight map, and a lot of potential interaction between these two players. And it's kicking off already because we have a militia scout on his way to Nicker's base. And how long until he gets there, we will see. There it is. Boom. He's there. What is he going to do, though, when he gets there? That's the question I have to ask. Is he going to build a farm? A tower? Probably a farm. He's going to have a little dig at the wisp first, though. I like that. Just to let you know I'm here. Hey, I'm in your base. I'm building a farm. Deal with it. Ancient of War, Moonwell. Where's the altar? No altar just yet because it's going to go down right now. Boom, there it is. And the altar is almost up here. So close. Just had to bring that wood in first, did you? Oh, he's so keen to get back onto the wood. He's not finishing his job. Okay, we got Archmage coming out, then a Footman. So that's what we want to see. We want to see Archmage and Footman. That's what you want to see from your human. Otherwise, he's probably going to have a rather rough game. Our Night Elf friend is going to be obviously getting a neutral tavern. Well, go into the neutral tavern, maybe having a drink or two, and then picking himself up a neutral hero. So archers at the ready, going for 2 of them, rather than getting the 1 and then uprooting the Ancient of War. And he's also getting his second Moonwell on the way. This farm is going to see just a little bit of the base, but enough to know what's going on at certain points. It'll make him feel a lot more comfortable this game, so Owen can pretty much have that little bit more extra control. And he's trying to assert his dominance here, pushing back the Wisp Scout, more Footmen coming out. Peasant checking for the inevitable Dart Ranger, apparently. Oh, this should be good. I like to see that. Dart Ranger. She can get well and truly out of control. Now, I must have just missed it whilst all of that was going on, but Nicker must have aggroed these creeps, pulled a wisp behind, got himself the Troll Shadow Priest, and then managed to get out. All in that same space of time, because there's no way you can hire a mercenary from this creep camp without it being attacked. So he's managed to cleverly do that without taking too much damage, apparently. Meanwhile, we can see Owen on the left hand side getting a nice surround on his own little wizard here. Hopefully going to get himself a nice item. He's picked up a troll priest, unfortunately lost himself a militia in the process, but he has got a panda here who's got himself a Pereptor Vitality. So he obviously cancelled the Archmage because he saw the Dart Ranger. So this is his counter to the Dart Ranger, who can produce a hell of a lot of Dart minions, as you can see. This is one hero, and already she has 2, 4, 6 Dart minions, which are basically like crappy ghouls, if you want to look at them that way. And that's a lot of units to have straight off, and they're on their way to go and scout out the enemy base, by the looks of it, or perhaps creep. They've got a fair bit of life in them. I don't think they're going to be able to do much when they do get to this base. There's no tech yet. Arcane Tower is almost up. More Footmen, Militia coming down. Troll Berserker picked up. Trying to finish off the Wisp before it can detonate. Maybe on his Troll Shadow Priest. No, not going to happen. Nicker's just looking at the moment. Meanwhile, doing a bit of macro, no doubt, because his Dart Ranger was just sitting there. Not in such a good position. However, Owen is definitely looking pretty strong. Where are these skeletons gone? There we are. They've managed to get into the back of the base. They're trying to do some damage to the economy of Owen. I'm not sure if they're going to pick anything off. We can see the panda's picking up a claws of attack +6. Already level 3. That's pretty powerful because our Dart Ranger friend over here is only level 2. A little bit slower by the looks of it. Because you don't want the panda getting too strong. Otherwise, he's going to kill those Dart minions in like just 1 Breath of Fire practically. He's going to get to that point. Level 2 Breath of Fire won't quite manage it, but it will do a damn sight decent chunk of damage. And we've got a nice little arc here protecting the towers that are going up for our Owen friend. And, ooh, Dart Ranger, what have you got? Ring of Protection +3, Ring of Protection +2. Looks like he got a little bit screwed on the items, and there's a nice Breath of Fire from the panda. One more would finish those off, or at least bring them down to almost 1 health. Oh, that Raccoon almost blocking our Panda. There's another Breath of Fire. A decent chunk of experience indeed. Although Dark Ranger has managed to get her way up to level 3, so that's good to see. Ancient of War just guarding. And there must be a tech. Yeah, tech halfway through. Hunter's Hall going down. Hidden somewhat. Doesn't want to get killed before it goes up, because if this tech goes up, probably going to want something that the Hunter's Hall can allow, which is basically Ancients of Law units. Ooh, Staff of Teleportation has been used. Going to be getting over here using a Clarity Pot. So that Panda, good moves here by Owen. He wants to focus on keeping that Panda manned up. That way he can throw down as many Breath of Fires as possible. Therefore, neutralizing the Dark Ranger, or at least her main strength at this point in time, which is creating skeletons and using them to bolster her army. Because the archers are great units, but not when they've got footmen in their face. So it does look like Nicker is going to want a lot of you know, dark minions, not only just to creep with, but to also provide somewhat of a block versus the footmen that are on their way right now. Oh, here they come. Does look like Nicker's going to pick up a potion of greater healing just in the nick of time, and he's going to have to get back because this isn't a good place. Although he's going for a little bit more. He is actually pushing his luck because the Panda's coming in from the side, trying to pick off the archers maybe. Oh, there he goes. He realizes now. Oh, there it is. Lovely Breath of Fire hitting 4 archers, already down to like half health practically. And the Panda's getting in there. Might want to spread his damage a little bit. One more Breath of Fire would definitely get a kill. You can see that Nicker is spreading his units as much as possible, trying to reduce the amount of units hit by Breath of Fire. And none actually killed thus far. Panda maybe getting in for another Breath of Fire in a moment. Doesn't want to waste it though. Moonwell's being very effective here, keeping those archers alive. 2 Ancients of Law going up. Meanwhile, we got units chasing all over the shop. Nick has actually moved his Ancient of War all the way down here, looking to potentially get himself an expansion or to help him creep it. By the way, Owen already has an expansion up and running. 2 Arcane Towers, Arcane Vault looking good. Tier 2 being researched, a little bit slow, but you'd expect that if you get yourself a fast expansion. Panda teleporting back, Demon Hunter coming out by the looks of it for Nicker, so this is going to be very anti-Panda build. Dark Ranger, you know, can be pretty useful versus the Panda if she gets the silence ability, because Panda is pretty dependent on his spells, although don't be too misled by that. He is very, very strong in melee situations, but it doesn't look like he's gone for Drunken Haze, so that's one spell he hasn't got. It's just Breath of Fire and the, I think, evasion style ability. I can't remember the name of it, but either way, it's a combination of the Demon Hunter's evasion and the Blade Master's critical strike, and it's very underrated in my opinion. Oh, Panda losing his Clarity Pot, but in a great position to throw down a Breath of Fire on this clump of archers, trying to run away. Avoid any mana burns, because that's exactly what the Demon Hunter is there for. Just to take away all the mana. Dryads coming out. Abolish Magic being researched. No Tier 3 being upgraded. More towers for Owen. He's going for some creeping down here with his units, whilst the Panda has the attention of the Demon Hunter that just won't let that Panda get away. Oh, maybe I was speaking too soon because the Demon Hunter slacked off for a moment. He slacked. You get what you pay for. He did 1 mana burn there and was like, yeah, that's probably enough, rather than to continue chasing. Nicker's doing a good job here because he is not only dealing with this annoying Panda who could actually potentially kill that Tree of Life if it wasn't for the Demon Hunter. So the Demon Hunter's, you know, he's stopping his Tree of Life from being destroyed. Meanwhile, he's stealing creeps from the enemy, which is very effective because it's experience for him and it's no experience for your enemy. Because, oh, Demon Hunter in the middle here. Not a particularly strong hero, but once again, his mana burn is being used. And looks like Panda might... No, Panda's not got much mana left, so the Demon Hunter's job is done. He's actually still got a fair bit of mana. At least 2 mana burns in. It does look like Nick is coming in here to the left-hand side at the expansion, trying to pick off the towers. Not quite going to get it. Dark minions all over the frickin' shop. Archer's in a good arc here, trying to pick off this tower, and then no, not going to get it. Panda coming in. Has he got the mana? Not quite yet, but he can go to and get himself a mana pot. Does look like he's going to get a lot of his mana reduced, though. Demon Hunter throwing down another mana burn. These dark minions being pulled back. And yes, Owen's going to want to recoup his mana, his health, because it's looking a little bit tetchy. Oh, Maybe he did actually get a kill on the Tree of Life. So much is going on. It's pretty hard to keep track of all of it without basically making you go nuts in terms of your vision, because the camera would be like, hello, 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 over here, over here, over here. I'm doing my best, covering as much as I can, but apparently there is no expansion anymore for Nicker, so not exactly sure why that is. I can only assume it was because Owen was doing some harass at some point, but he was creeping, he was pandering around the map. Goodness knows. But we've got bears coming out now for Nicker, and the upgrades are going down for them. Tier 3 almost achieved for Nicker. Have we got any upgrades for these units? No. No upgrades just yet. Just focusing on getting to 50 food at least with these units. A few pause starts between the two players. That's never too good because that takes them out of the flow of the game. Panda, once again getting his mana back, and another clarity potion. He's got picking himself up a scroll of teleport. He's got invulnerability part and a boost of speed. Dark Ranger, of course, preservation, staff of preservation, and the Demon Hunter also had one, I believe. If I could spot where he is on the map. Where are you? Oh, you're ahead. He's invisible. That's where he is, because he's getting ready for another mana burn, no doubt, or doing a block. Trying to pick off the Berserker, which definitely looks like it's going to be taken down with the aid of the Dryad slow poison ability. And just slightly avoiding too much damage there from the Arcane Tower. He's going to want his mana to mana burn, to take away the mana from other people. So the Demon Hunter has some nice items. He's picked up the Ring of Protections that the Dark Ranger didn't want, because he's going to be doing a bit of the tanking. Level 2, he's not particularly bulky, but the Rings of Protection will help. Oh, there's Owen throwing down a Breath of Fire, just picking off the Wisp, denying potential mercs in the future, or at least in the very near future, until he gets another Wisp nearby. Panda looking around to harass. Ah, Tree of Life is up here. And there's another Breath of Fire, just picking off the Wisps, and Staff are teleporting out before things go too far south. He's found an archer. He might Breath of Fire, but the archer's just got enough health. And I wonder if he knows this. I think he might know this. Well, he probably knows it, because if the archer did die, she would go, ah, and fall over onto the floor. There you go. There it is. He knows now. He knows. 2 clarity circlets of nobility, rather, for our Dark Ranger, and the Demon Hunter is pretty damn tanky. Not only has he got those Rings of Protection, he's also got a greater healing pot and a Scroll of Healing. Trying to get these dark minions up and running. It does help to have a few peasants nearby to pick off. Oh, lovely roar there going down on the units. Archers at the back. Quite a lot of units benefiting from this. A nice mixed army here from Nicker. He's not actually committing too much to any type. Meanwhile, we have Owen coming around the back here, looking to pick off maybe the Tree of Life. He hasn't got that much going for him. He's spent probably quite a lot of resources on towers and doesn't have that much on units right now. Sorks being produced, tanks. Tanks are always very good against Night Elf. Clarity Pot going down again for the Panda. Forcing a TP from Nicker here. And he's going to get himself in a position to maybe pick off 1 footman at the very least. Defend being used. That footman will definitely go down, but there is the chance that he can throw back some of the ranged attacks to the range. Oh, throwers. Look at that. The footman might escape. Nope. Dark Ranger last hit. Dark Minion. And does look like the Demon Hunter forced back Owen's Panda. So scroll of teleport, not scroll of teleport, staff of teleportation being used once again, so you can probably pick up some clarity pots. Let's have a look at these resources. Whoa, he's got a lot of resources. He hasn't been in a position where he can really mass that many units. Oh, lovely surround here for a Nicker. Getting the surround and the steam tank. You ain't going nowhere, boy. That's for sure. Oh, maybe he is. I spoke too soon. Staff of preservation, saving the tank. The Panda's going to lose a little bit of mana here for that sacrifice. And it wasn't Staff of Preservation, it's Staff of Sanctuary, but you know what I mean. And we've got more tanks coming out. There was one gyrocopter, a couple of gyrocopters by the looks of it. Just use to scout maybe, perhaps do some damage over time on these buildings. Just be a nuisance. I don't think this workshop is going to make it. If those peasants try to come up and repair, they're going to be cannon fodder for the Dark Ranger. Dark minions they will become. Have we got any more mana? We got Clarity Pot going down, but the Demon Hunter is looking for the Panda. Invisibility being used on the Panda. That means he can get into this Night Elf army, throw down 1 Breath of Fire at the very least. There we go. Back off a little bit. Hit a couple of archers. Run back. Priests coming out now, but those Arcane Sanctums, those buildings are not doing too well. In the main base, more workshops going up. Lots of workshops. And, of course, upgrades for these steam tanks. One already for the attack. Demon Hunter being sent back to heal up, but he could also be useful here unless he uses Star for teleportation. Doesn't quite see this maybe. I pause the game. He could just see that steam tank, but I don't know whether he was too focused on it. He's more than likely too focused on what's going on all over the shop, because he's got archers up here, apparently attacking towers, trying to get up in Peasant's face. Not going to happen. More steam tanks coming out. Panda Brewmaster, narrowly going to avoid a mana burn there. Demon Hunter wants it so bad. More mana for our panda friend, who is almost level 5. Halfway at least. Dark Ranger, halfway to level 5 as well. Druid of the Claw, of course, Master. Probably upgraded, maybe. Yes, 1-1 upgrades. And Talon's coming out here. That's nice. Fairy Fire's going to make it easier to pick off these tanks, as well as keep an eye on them. And the panda is just about going to, yes, definitely take off this Moonwell. I don't think he's going to want to stay around for too long, but it looks like he's going very heavily on these Moonwells. He's not in a great position to hit both of them. I wonder if he can get a Breath of Fire that hits both. No, he doesn't. He chooses to get just the one at the bottom. Uses the invulnerability pot. Goes for more Moonwells. This is going to be really damaging to Nicker in a moment. Not just yet, because Nicker actually has a hell of a lot of Moonwells, apparently. So good moves there. Tanks all over the shop. This is a Night Elf's worst nightmare, to be honest. Is when the human gets to the point where they can just be throwing steam tanks left, right and centre at you. They are all over the shop, and it is a macro nightmare for Night Elf, because their units generally don't do all that much damage to steam tanks. Bears will be more useful, but their archers, their range, lovely surround there. Very good pick off. That's going to make it a lot easier to pick him off, and especially with the Fairy Fire. Does a nice job there. Tanks just coming around here, getting ready to do their job. Tanks all over the shop. Owen creeping down here. Panda could get level 5 if he backed off potentially, but the Blood Mage is going to steal some of that experience. Oh no, he's backing off now, but I don't know whether he'll get it just from this level 7. It's going to be very close. I don't know. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. If he gets level 5, that's going to go a long way. Level 3 Breath of Fire does a lot of damage. And it's so cheap. More Moonwells being the focus here for Owen, not the buildings themselves. Just consistently trying to take away the Moonwells. That way he's cutting off the food supply for Nicker. But he's getting a lovely range of units. Talons, Bears, Berserkers, Dryads, Double Hero. More tanks coming in. Panda, now level 5. Must have Breath of Fired on Wisp that was scouting about, no doubt. And, the expansion is 9,600 gold left for Nicker. Meanwhile, we've got 6,000, so that's an extra 3,500 gold that Owen has managed to get overall from his expansion. And the main base's gold is pretty similar as well, so yeah, that still stands. And another tank being picked off here. Gyrocopter all the way over here, not going to scout that much. More Moonwells being thrown down. Ancients of War. One down, one up. It might be an idea to invest in more Ancients of War and just have them uprooted to protect nearby Moonwells. But yeah, it's up to Nicker, and he's got a fair bit of resources, but he's spending them quite heavily on Bears, which is going to be good for dealing with the tanks. He's actually having to leave a decent portion of his army behind just so that he can protect against any future tank attacks. We got Sorks casters, but not many. Is he going to switch to casters now? He's got the upgrades for Master Priests, so we're going to see Inner Fire soon. That allows tanks to have that bit more armor, that bit more damage. And Mud Golem, actually a good choice of units here for Nicker. He's actually really making use of this mercenary camp, because this way, this Mud Golem can throw down the slow ability, which is essentially what Sorks have. It's exactly the same version as far as I'm concerned. And it's going to be very useful against tanks because it's going to slow down their damage. It's going to slow them down completely as well in terms of movement speed, make it harder for them to maneuver around the map. But 3 of them are on their way to the Night Elf base. A Fairy Dragon will scout this. He sees, and he's going for him. He's going to kill them before they can get there. No, not quite. These tanks are quite upgraded. 1 on the armor, 3 on the damage. We got Bears with 1 armor, 2 armor upgrades and 1 damage. All Bears all over the shop. Invisible Panda. He's getting ready to get inside of this base. Maybe go for the back here, the Entangled Gold Mine. What's his game? He's looking for Wisps to pick off. Does look like the tanks are focusing on the Ancient of Wonders now. Maybe back onto the Moon Worlds. Maybe going to go on the Tree of Eternity. I don't think he'll get it, but he's distracting Nicker here with the tanks. Meanwhile, his Panda's at the back here, focusing the gold mine, but the Panda's actually giving up on that. He's coming around here, maybe going to throw down a Breath of Fire, looking for something to attack. Lots and lots of tanks in here now. That's a good 6 there. He's going very heavily on the Tree of Eternity. He's got a really good focus here, and it does look like Nicker might not even be able to TP back in time. That is some heavy focus. Breath of Fire taking out all of those wisps. That was maximum range, just managing to get it. More Moonworlds going down. We haven't got a scroll of teleport here, but we have actually got a star for teleportation, so he might want to use it right about now before he loses that Panda. And there it goes. The Panda escapes. The tanks can just be left to destroy the rest of this base. This is, like I say, nightmare for Nicker. Absolute nightmare. He's just having his entire base destroyed, and it's so hard to fight against tanks. They are amazing units. Now, if you've ever watched any of my 4 versus 4 commentaries, you might have picked up on the fact that I say that steam tanks are the most imbalanced unit in the game for 4 versus 4 RT. But they are damn good for 1 versus 1 as well in certain situations, particularly against Night Elf and Undead. So yeah, this is just becoming a tank fest. Free workshops, and yeah, how many more tanks can you get, to be honest? More buildings having to come out here, more Moonwells. This is costing Nicker so much. If one of those tanks takes out a Moonwell, it's almost paid for itself, let alone anything else that the tank gets up to. So Nicker is sitting at 70 food here, over 40. So he's still got his army, but he's just... it's not a good position to be. You never want to be cut on your supply for food. Level 3 Demon Hunter, level 5 Dart Ranger, 2 scrolls of healing just to try to deal with the Panda. Another scroll of healing on the Demon Hunter. And the Panda just abusing these invisibility pots, just looking around, almost level 6. I mean, if he gets level 6 and gets Storm, Earth, Fire, he's just going to be even more of a nightmare to deal with. As I can say from earlier, you can see lots of Ancients of War now being built from Nicker. They're upgraded, they're all there, but they're not upgraded in... oh, Panda about to pick off the Mud Golem. Don't want to lose that. Get a slow on him. He can't Breath of Fire the Mud Golem because it's immune to magic. Demon Hunter almost getting a mana burn there. Tree of Life being rebuilt. Oh, these are some casters coming from underneath. Tanks being massed at the back of the expansion for Owen. More of them coming out. Where are they being rallied to? Just down to the expansion by the looks of it. This army of Nicker wants to do something, but because steam tanks are so damn effective, they have to defend. Even more Ancients of War now. We've got 4. Just getting some trees. You can see that they're trying to keep the health, just in case tanks come in at this point in time, and that way they can just do some decent damage over time to those tanks. It's a pretty solid counter to tanks, but he hasn't got the research that increases their armor. So that would be useful, especially versus tanks, considering they are built to destroy buildings. So if you can put any extra armor, it would be nice, but I suppose it doesn't really do all that much to fortified buildings, but still, it's nice. You never know when he'll need to uproot this Tree of Ages when it gets focused inevitably down the line, and he needs just a little bit of armor to keep it alive whilst it's uprooted. You never know. Demon Hunter's so damn fast, he keeps getting stuck behind the Dart Ranger, who could also do with a boost of speed by the looks of it. If the Dart Ranger gets Charm, which is the level 6 ability that she has, she could be pretty damn effective, because she'll be able to reduce the effectiveness of these steam tanks by taking one away at a time and maybe massing them for herself. Oh my goodness, Breath of Fire being used through the trees to pick up a wisp. What the hell? That's brilliant. Demon Hunter throwing down more mana burns whenever possible on that Panda, and he's going to come back to base, get a little bit of health. Blood Mage's just sitting here level 1. I'm not exactly sure what his purpose is in this. Maybe just to serve as an alternative army support character that can teleport back in case the Panda wants to harass up at the top and the Blood Mage is at the bottom, so he can have a scroll of teleport to get back with all the tanks, just in case Owen isn't confident enough that the tanks can make it back to base in time. A large army here. Finally, up to 70 food supply now in terms of Moonwells and just trees. Oh! A pick off here. Was that a Dust of Appearance maybe? Ah, no. Did he see him use Potion of Invisibility? Did he time that Dust of Appearance just perfectly? Did the Panda come up there? Because I'm sure the Panda would have had Invisible casting him from here. So that's some good insight. Unfortunately, I missed it, so I can't know for sure. Either way, the Panda was denied there. Pushed back. Very good move by Nicker. Just buying himself a little bit more time. Because that Panda wanted to obviously go from the shop and do some more damage. But he's actually been forced back here. Inner fire all over these tanks. Now on free upgrades. Both heroes invisible. No invis on the tanks though. Demon Hunter trying to get in on the action. See what's going down. Dark Ranger consistently using Staff of Preservation on the Demon Hunter. Which is good in itself. Not just to protect and save a unit that's about to die. But also just to get it back to base. He doesn't need a Staff for teleportation. He doesn't need a Scroll of Teleport. Just get your other hero to Staff of Preservation on him. But he has got a Staff of Teleportation in case he really needs it. But quite clearly we can see Staff of Preservation being the choice here and getting him back to base. Lots and lots of tanks coming in here now. All sides. How many tanks is this? 82 out of 84 food supply here for Owen. He's really going for it. He wants to finish this right here and right now. Tanks coming in from underneath. Loads of Ancients of War surrounding the Tree of Ages. These tanks up here being blocked by the other bears. Oh, this is what I mean. Look at this. Nicker really doing the best he can in this situation to try to deal with these tanks all over the shops. 2 tanks managing to flank in from underneath. More tanks trying to get in from the side. Tanks coming in from the top. We've got Talons spamming down the fairy fire, trying to reduce the armor of these tanks. Bears going heavy on them. Reducing the mana of this Panda. That's the most important thing, which is why... Oh no, sorry, not reducing there. Oh, I saw it the wrong way. If anything, he was giving the Panda more mana. That's what he was trying to do, trying to negate some of the mana burns that are inevitably going to go down on the Panda. Once he loses that invulnerability pot, tanks being stopped, more tanks trying to get in on this Tree of Life, repairs not being able to go down, wisps all over the shop, Panda being focused very heavily here, Scroll of Teleport being used to get out of this situation. Tree of Life, Tree of Ages, just surviving. But here comes another tank. Is he going to be able to finish it off in time? Oh no, not quite. That Tree of Ages just made it. We still got a couple of well, we still got all Ancients of War up. More tanks coming in. Tanks over here. No tanks up here though. Just a couple of tanks, because he had so many tanks. Just a couple of tanks up at the top here would have been really good. Level 6 Panda now. But he really needs to get that mana going. Where's he scroll? Oh, there we go. He's going for a Breath of Fire. Maybe he gets mana burn. His mana is denied very quickly on. So that way he can't throw down a Breath of Fire, which might have been all it took to finish off this Tree of Ages. So there was very good reactions there from Nicker. He was ready for that Panda, and this Panda is being pushed back heavily. And he's already used his Staff of Teleportation, so he's got to run here, just flat out run. Did he manage to pick off the information he needed to see? I don't know if he knows that there's an expansion, or rather another base up at the top here, which is going to finish off the gold mine by the looks of it. So these steam tanks are being dealt with quite well by Nicker. This is really good. Now he's got level 6 with the Dark Ranger. Is he going to use the charm ability? She's got 480 mana. She goes for the priest, not the tanks. She wants the priest. It's going to be picked off very quickly and easily though. But that's an interesting choice. I suppose there's so many tanks, so I mean, which one do you want to go for? So many tanks coming in here. 65 foods worth now. Slightly less than before, but it still looks like more tanks than ever. They're coming in here. They can't quite get to the back here because it's so well blocked. Ancients of War getting in the way. Tanks just slightly slipping in here. Moonwell's being picked up. Uprooting the Tree of Ages. Just trying to give it a bit more survivability against the tanks that do extra damage to Fortified, but not extra damage against Heavy Armor, which has been upgraded now. So he has got the 7 armor instead of the 2, like I mentioned earlier. Just gonna give him a little bit more survivability, but it looks like too many tanks are surrounding there. There's no way that can survive. That is gonna go down. The bears and the dryads and everything else left in this army desperately trying to pick off these tanks, but you can see there's loads of them left. No matter how hard that army tries to pick off these tanks, it just can't kill them that quickly. They are so hard to kill. Dark Ranger just not doing that much damage. Her charm ability is the main thing here. We want to pick off the tanks by stealing them. Demon Hunter might be able to pick off this one, but they're just going everywhere. Looking for any buildings left. We can see that a Tree of 8, has he hidden it? Ah, he has, because I don't think there was any siege engines that went up there at that point in time. I didn't think so. So he's used his Tree of Life, uprooted it, eaten some trees. Now, an important thing to notice is that you are revealed to your opponents if you have no main base. But the Tree of Life up here counts as a main base. So as long as he can keep that, whether it's uprooted or rooted, it still counts. So as long as that's up and running, your opponent cannot see where you are. So all Owen really needs to do is, if he's even got a gyrocopter spare, which he has, and he's now going to scout, he's going to see this, there's no doubt about it. There we go, Tree of Life would have been spotted here if he's paying attention, but he is quite busy right now trying to run away from an army that is very pissed. Oh my, indeed. So the pandas, the blood mage, retreating here, maybe going to pick up an item. Gold is very sparse for Owen here, and also for Nicker, sitting at 63 food Nicker is, and Owen at a bit less, 46 food, and only tanks. Not really much of an army, just, you know, tanks. But still, they provide their purpose. They've been very useful thus far, but unfortunately at this point of the game, where the hell is that Tree of Life? Ah, there he is. He's come over here. I wonder if he went like all the way, eaten all of these trees, gone all the way along the sort of shoreline. You could potentially do that. It could work. But he hasn't chosen to do that. It looks like he's actually going to come down here and be a bit more productive in the long run. Because if he can get entangled next to that gold mine, he will be able to get a little bit more gold, which is of course going to always be useful. We've got a big ass Greater Dark minion just trying to do some damage here against these tanks that are making their way. They want to pick off that tree. They don't want him around. We've got another Tree of Life being built here in the middle, just in case he loses his current Tree of Life, which is coming down to the expansion. Lots of bears are ready to protect. Panda and Blood Mage coming in, but this Panda is consistently being harassed as well as the Blood Mage. The Demon Hunter just not giving him a chance. Storm Earth Fire going down. He's going to try to get around. His pure focus, by the looks of it, is for this Tree of Life. He thinks this is the only one, but there is another one just around the corner. Can the Tree of Life get himself in an awkward position for Owen? He's trying to get himself amidst the middle of these trees, making it as difficult for Owen as possible. But even then, these tanks are relentless. They are still coming heavily, and the Tree of Life is going to be picked off. This other Tree of Life is getting focused as well before it can even go up. Oh my goodness, very unfortunate for Nicker. These tanks, there we go, remaining now. Time, both Trees of Life going down. This means that he will be revealed to his opponent, because where are the rest of his buildings, to be honest? I mean, has he got much left? Ah, that's weird. There's a blue farm over here. So he took a peasant and built a farm? When the hell did that happen? Because that is a blue farm right there. Unless that is a bug, that is a blue farm. So, where is this peasant? Those are Owen's peasants. I'm trying to find it. Maybe it got killed. No, there it is. Here he is, just balling around the map, cocky as ever. Brilliant. But that farm will be revealed in a minute. That's why we've got a little bit of an army sitting here waiting. This is really getting tight now between the both players. Nicker has the army, but you have seen how effective these tanks are. These tanks are amazingly effective. So effective, you don't actually need a proper army. You don't need bears, you don't need you don't need spellbreakers, priests, sorks, knights. You just need tanks. That's all you need, apparently. It seems funny, doesn't it? You wouldn't have thought this would be a normal thing, but it is. It is kind of common, actually, to be honest, to come across this in opponents that are human when you are Night Elf. Oh, Dryad pushing a lot. And down she goes. One less unit to bolster up Nicker's army, who is sitting at 61 out of 6 food. Oh, look at this. The bears positioned so that tanks can't get through. The tank wants to see. He's like, oh, these bears are here for a reason, and I can't get there. A Sork has also been taken, so that's going to be useful. Like that Mud Golem from before, pretty much just there to cast slow. Make it easy for this Demon Hunter to pick off these tanks. Brilliant. Defense. Look at that farm. The gyrocopter knows. Oh my goodness. We've got Dart Ranger running around, picking off the remaining tanks that are desperately trying to find any other buildings to kill. And they know that even if they find another building around here, there's still that one over there. So, it does look like Nicker might just be able to survive this if he can finish off the remaining tanks. Meanwhile, sending some of his army to just siege Owen's base and slowly bring an end to this game. These tanks are probably desperate to look for some sort of way to get around. Maybe a mortar team to attack at the back, destroy the trees, slip in with the tanks and kill the farm, but it's just a little too late. Gyrocopter going down. Tanks desperately trying to find a way to get round. Demon Hunter halfway to level 6. Going to pick off another tank. How much experience? Oh, we just miss out on seeing how much experience. Wow, was that a game. Nicker versus Owen. What a game. That was amazing. Very powerful heroes and army for Nicker. But, my goodness, was that a struggle to win. When you're against a level 6 Panda, a level 2 Blood Mage, and a bunch of tanks. Like I say, a big nightmare for a Night Elf player. Owen got a lot of gold, more supply for those tanks, and he was having fun with those tanks. That's a very small map as well, so it's a bit hard to hide the tanks in terms. It kind of works with and against you, but either way it provided an amazing game. Very fun to watch, and I hope you enjoyed this game as well. And if you did and you liked the commentary, then thumbs up the video, give it a like, and share it if you want, favorite the video, and if you want to see more, you can always subscribe. So thanks for watching. This has been WTii, and I'll see you later.